Hello everybody, I'm Left, and in this video I will talk about upcoming sequel for one of my favorite roguelikes, Slay the Spire. The game is about to be released in early access in just under 2 months, in March. New characters, new mechanics, new bosses, quests, enchantments, alternative locations, and much more. I've gathered every single teaser that's been shown to us and compiled it all in this video. I recommend you skip this video if you want to jump into the game blind and not know about a lot of new mechanics in advance. Before going through the newsletters, let's see all the information we can see on the Steam page and in the game's trailer. First off, the gameplay seems to be very similar to the original game. Starting card size is 5, 3 potion slots, identical amount of starting HP, somewhat similar amount of enemy HP, same for Puff's map, and a lot of returning relics and cards. Speaking of relics, boss relics will be removed from the game. Yep, you will no longer see a choice of 3 relics at the end of every act. There's a much cooler replacement now, but I'll talk about it when we get to the newsletters and some teased mechanics. Another change, but a small one this time. The amount of money you receive after an encounter seems to be twice as much gold compared to the first game. An odd choice, considering the shop prices seem to be about the same. Perhaps shops will appear more often, or there will be more ways to spend our money. Also, one of the newsletters by the devs confirms there won't be a sell feature at the shops. Merchant is confirmed to be the same character from the first game. Another interesting mechanic we see in the trailer are card packs. It seems to be an option you can choose with Niao at the start of your run and possibly on some other certain events. There are 4 new locations revealed in the trailer. I originally thought only the 4th one was inside the Spire, but judging from the description on the Steam page, it all seems to be inside the Spire. There's more information on the new locations I have, but it ties closely with the new mechanic revealed in the newsletters, so I will talk about it a little later in the video. Now, let's talk about the new additions to our roster of characters. Necrobinder. There's not much info on her lore, so I will speculate about it when we get to that part of the video. She supposedly has the lowest amount of HP out of all characters, 2 times less than Silent. In the trailer she's seen with 66 HP though, so I believe it was changed somewhere during development. In the documentary about Slay the Spire 2 by PC Gamer, we also see her start with 66 HP. The name of her skeleton hand was revealed in one of the newsletters, Ostia. There are 3 main mechanics she's going to have: Doom, Summon, and Soul. I will use one of the newsletters to talk about these mechanics in depth. Ostia, the bodyguard hand, will attack independently from Necrobinder and will also block incoming damage for her as long as he stays alive. Ostia can be brought back to life multiple times in a fight through the Summon mechanic. He is also immune to debuffs that affect Necrobinder, but there is no information if he benefits from buffs like Strength or Regen, and if his attacks will be stronger when hitting vulnerable enemies. Doom is quite simple. It will work like a mixture of Poison and Dark Orbs. Here is a quote: "When a creature's Doom meets or exceeds its current HP, it will die." It's a debuff that's applied similarly to Poison, but it does not deal damage over time or tick down, and it only affects creatures at the end of their turn, as opposed to the start. Doom can be applied to the Necrobinder herself. And finally, Soul. Soul will probably be your primary source of drawing more cards. It reminds me of Watcher's Insight, a pretty simple mechanic. Necrobinder will also be able to enchant her cards with special abilities, but we will talk about it when we get to the new mechanics. Okay, let's go through her cards. Obviously Strike and Defend. Here are the Doom cards: Blight Strike, Negative Pulse, Scourge, Swipe, which seems like an infinitely better version of Silent's Bane, Death's Door, Fearmonger, which seems similar to Ironclad's Rage, Time's Up, and finally Deathbringer, quite similar to Silent's Catalyst. There's also New Research, which seems like the most interesting card out of the bunch. It seems Doom is a much stronger version of Poison, with the drawback of killing the enemy only after its turn, meaning that in order to efficiently use Doom, you will need to find a way to block a lot. Here are some of her attack cards: Veil Piercer, Saw, Death's Visage, Defile, Reap, Grave Blast, and finally Sculpting Strike. Here's her skill cards: Enfeebling Touch, which is again very similar to Piercing Veil, Transfigure, Fear, Putrefy, Drain Power, and Wisp. Here's cards related to her soul mechanic: Carve Ghost, Severance, Grave Warden, and obviously the soul itself. Here are her cards used for Ostia: Friendship, Bone Shards that will kill Ostia, Pull Aggro, Bodyguard, Plague Carrier that makes Ostia apply Doom, Poke, which is very similar to a regular Strike, Empower, and Symbiosis. There is also this card called Tag Team, which is unfortunately cropped. Finally, some of her cards I couldn't include in any of the categories: Page Storm, Dance Macabre, and Cleanse. Overall, Necrobinder is described as the most complex character that will make fans of the first game get their gears turning. There is also this aura farming guy in the trailer. His name is Regent, as revealed in one of the newsletters. He does actually have some lore for me to share with you. I quote, "Hailing from a distant planet, the Regent has traveled long and far on his quest for excitement that his homeworld cannot offer. His journey has of course taken him to the Spire, full of strange, formidable creatures to conquer and innumerable treasures to plunder. Heir to the throne of stars, he is a domineering and arrogant being who draws on the power of the cosmos and his long-suffering minions to do his bidding. The Regent also has 3 main mechanics: stars, minions, and forge. Stars is a resource similar to energy. It is required to play specific cards, and some of them even scale with the amount of stars you currently have. The way you obtain stars is uncertain yet, but there is at least one card that allows you to get some. You can have an unlimited amount of stars and they do not reset at the end of your turn. It basically works like if you have ice cream. The next mechanic is called minions. They are capable of attacking and defending the Regent, but the only 2 cards we've been shown so far are Guardians and Minion Sacrifice. The final mechanic is called Forge. The Regent has a Sovereign Blade, a weapon that you can scale through Forge. Sovereign Blade is retainable and non-exhaustible, meaning you can either scale it until it's lethal, or use it at any point of the fight and it will eventually return to your hand. He also has some mechanics related to colorless cards, which he can, I quote, interact with in interesting ways. We've no idea what this means as of now. Another quote relating to his lore. What exactly his backstory is and what his future entails will be unveiled in due time. Ironclad and Silent changes. Now we will talk about some of the new and old cards that Ironclad and Silent will have. Again, remember that these cards will probably have different numbers in early access. Excuse me for the poor quality, since most of these are just cropped out of the trailers. Feel free to pause and read about what these cards do. I won't focus on them too much. Here are the returning Ironclad cards. Blood for Blood, Body Slam, Bash, Bludgeon, no longer rare, Shrug It Off, Iron Wave, Ghostly Armor, Cleave, Anger, Headbutt, Hemokinesis, deals 1 less damage now, Feel No Pain, Burning Pact, True Greed, Bloodletting, Rampage, and Dark Embrace, now a rare card. Here are the new Ironclad cards have been shown so far: Bloodwell, Tremble, Molten Fist, Breakthrough, Setup Strike, and Cinder for commons. Spite, Howl from Beyond, Bully, Unrelenting, Ashen Strike, Forgotten Ritual, Unrelenting, and Stone Armor for uncommons. Cruelty, Aggression, Hellraiser, Pact's End, Mangle, Charge, and Colossus for rares. It seems like sacrificing your HP for some cards will be far more common compared to the first game. We don't see Corruption returning, but considering that a lot of the exhaust cards are back, I'd bet it's gonna be in the game as well. Strength scaling, however, seems to be less prevalent. Now for Silent. First off, she will now have a new mechanic called Slay. I quote, "Slay cards are automatically played for free when they are discarded, opening up a whole new way to take advantage of the discard shenanigans. The Silent has access to a bunch of new Slay cards in Slay the Spire too, but if that isn't enough Slayness for you, you can always take matters into your own hands. Here are the returning Silent cards: Blade Dance, now exhaustible, Cloak and Dagger, Accuracy, Poison Stab, Sucker Punch, Reaper's Ult, Dagger Throw, Reflex, now costs free energy and has Slay, Well-Laid Plan, Piercing Veil, Survival and Neutralize. Now the new cards. For commons, Flick Flag, Uncanny Dodge and Anticipate. For uncommons, Hidden Daggers, Follow Through and Pounce. For rares, Execution, Assassinate, Fan of Knives, Master Planner and Blade of Ink. It seems like discarding will be the best way to play Silent. Sheaves seem to be massively nerfed, but not entirely ruined. Unlike Ironclad and Necrobinder, Silent barely has any cards revealed. We will now be fully talking about the newsletters posted by the game devs on Steam. They tease new mechanics, cards, items and events, and I think this should be the most interesting part of the video. I will add some information from the Q&A as well, and then we will take a look at all the revealed enemies we have so far. Enchants and Afflictions. Cards will now be able to have 2 unique properties: enchantments and afflictions. Enchantments are beneficial boosts you can give to your cards. They will last until the end of the run. According to dev's comment, most of them will give you a slight edge in combat, but some of the enchantments will be run defining. Here is a corrupted enchantment as teased in one of the newsletters. Your card deals 6 more damage, but you lose 3 HP whenever you play it. Personally, this seems not worth it, unless you're playing Ironclad. Even then it's kinda questionable. Afflictions are a cut mechanic from the original game, finally being implemented in the sequel. Those are basically the reverse versions of enchantments. They give your cards negative properties, however it seems they will only be applied until the end of the combat, as opposed to enchantments that will last until the run ends. My wild guess is that afflictions will be mostly used by act bosses and maybe some special enemies. Quests. An entirely new and definitely welcome mechanic will be getting is called quests. Now during our runs we will be able to receive special quest cards. The one we've got teased isn't playable, but I have a feeling some of them will be. It seems like we need to find these cards during one event, and then upgrade it or activate them in the other. Think of it as the Golden Idol and Bloody Idol in the first game. Bloody Idol is only obtainable for 2 specific events following each other. The quest card we've been teased is a neck, and excuse me for making a stretch here, but we'll probably need to find a way to hatch this egg somehow, which will allow us to get this cool looking bird pet. We're unsure if pets will be another entirely different mechanics, or if this will be the only one we'll be getting. Either way, I want someone to mod Meow into the game to replace this birdie. New events. I quote, "We've made them more dramatic by having the event image take up the whole screen, and some of the events will have cute animations, particles, and glowing effects too. But not all of these events are beneficial. The types of events vary between acts, what state you're in, and they don't all have positive choices for the player. Sometimes it's better to take down enemies in order to make your deck stronger. There are 50 plus events in SLAY the Spire 2 so far, and they've been balanced to provide difficult decisions each time you enter them, just like before." Okay, real quick, this is the part of the video where I ask you all to subscribe to my channel. I pop out roguelike content twice a month and do my best to stand out from just stream votes and barely edited runs. Be sure that I'll be making a bunch of SLAY the Spire 2 content once it comes out. I also have a coffee page. I'm trying to save up to leave Russia before, you know, it's too late. Any help will be greatly appreciated. Even a small cheerful comment will go a long way. If you want to talk to me or other awesome roguelike gamers, check out my Discord server. Share links done. Let's get back to the video now. New colorless cards. I quote, "We're making a bunch of new colorless cards, tweaking some old ones, and even changing some old cards to now be colorless. Now, here are some cards we've been teased so far. Framing Hatchet, Rolling Boulder, which seems like an awesome card, I'm not gonna lie, Golden Axe, Fasten, Production. This trio will return to the game, Automation, and... I don't think this card should be colorless. It's almost like it belongs to someone else. Someone who hasn't been mentioned by the devs at all when it comes to the teasers and Q&A. Not even a brief trailer appearance. Alt Locations and Ancients. We've finally gotten it. A mechanic all of my favorite roguelikes have. Alternative acts. These acts will not be unlocked by default. Act 1 is, I quote, "Overgrowth, a lush, tangled ruin with much of its fauna resembling mystical woodland creatures and sentient flora that might just eat you alive." This seems to be the place where we pick up the egg quest card, judging by the bird enemy that seems like an adult version of the pet we've been teased. Alternative Act 1 is, I quote, "Underdogs, a mighty waterway connected to the Spire's sewer system, from which all manner of mutant sea creatures and vargants might emerge." Alternative acts will have both different events, enemies and bosses. There will be alternative locations for both acts 2 and 3 as well, but they will not appear in early access and will come later in the development. There are no mentions of Act 4 like the one we have in the first game. Another huge change coming to the Spire are Ancients. Those powerful creatures are the same species as our beloved Niao, and they will assist us at the beginning of each new act. Act 1 is still Niao though, but with more unique options it seems. Each Ancient will have a unique specialty and their boons should be quite different from each other. So far we've been shown only one new Ancient, Teskatara. She seems to be an entirely original character. I could not find any inspirations from real-life folklore. If you know anything about the origin of this character, please leave a comment and I'll pin it. Teskatara is it which feeds the fire, and I quote, "These ancients' blessings are generally known for burning bright, but extinguishing quickly." A selection of its possible blessings includes the transformation of the current act's map into a single special path, a bounty of temporary relics, and a way to reduce the cost of strikes, but also makes them impossible to remove from your deck. I really wonder how she's gonna reduce the cost of a 1 energy card. These ancients seem to have their own reason to see you succeed and slay the Spire, and we will learn about it as the story goes. Bosses and enemies. Here's all the new enemies who've been teased in the trailers and newsletters. Nibbit, the stick-like guy, Spiny Toad monster, this defect-like construct who's probably gonna be my favorite enemy, Sea-Punk, Mr. Metal Balls Knight, the Pasta Frankenstein, the Rejected Angry Bird, Ball of Hay, Punch Construct, this really ugly dude, Cultist seems to be back from the first game, Flyconid, the Semipedal, which will have multiple segments for you to attack, this Ball-like bug, this Blue Goo, Lizardly Knight, Soul Nexus, Dinosaur Bug, Stealing Cricket, I'm out of imagination at this point, Thanatos Statue, Ghost Guy and Alive Guy, Ugly Mouth Creature, Toadpole, Corpse Slug. These guys I almost forgot to include, Rats, Bird, and finally these 3 creatures from the Steam page. When it comes to boss enemies, I assume these are the ones we'll have to fight at the end of each act. This really awesome magic deer beast guy, this giant armored pigeon of doom, small goblin paladin and Iron Man suit, guy from the Dune, Terror Eel, and this collector wannabe. There's no information on the final boss. I don't think the heart will return though, but I'm gonna talk about it in the last segment of the video. New relics and potions. We've been officially shown 3 new relics and 2 new potions in the newsletter. Here they are. One goes Bargain Ticket, which seems to unlock some sort of a special trading event. Stone Humidifier. I quote, "This handy little device ensures that you gain a great night's sleep. Possible combination of the sleep charm and regal pillow, and dross paper. No information on what it does. The Steam page showed us the following items. This chainmail pants, these 2 relics, this poster of an elite monster, dragon fruit and reptile trinket. Necrobinder also has a new relic as her starting one. One of the newsletters reveals this Koserigama relic, which I assume will work similarly to Shuriken and Kunai. In the PC Gamer documentary, the following relics were spotted. Frost relic and this smelter, this runic paper, this friendship necklace, and all of these things. A new newsletter just dropped, and there's gonna be a new relic called Bread. Here's a list of returning relics spotted across the Steam page and the documentary. Burning Blood, Snake Ring, Snake Eye, thank God, Pen Nip, Bag of Marbles, Shuriken, Regal Pillow, Dolly's Mirror, Strawberry, Smooth Stone, Horncleat, Ink Bottle, Goblin Horn, Gira, Happy Flower, Eternal Feather, Bag of Preparation, Orichalcum, Anchor, Paper Frog, Prayer Wheel, Mummified Hand, the Abacus, Pantograph, Wheatstone, and finally Vajra. The 2 new potions we've been introduced to are Foul Potion and Ship in a Bottle. Ship in a Bottle seems to be a new smoke bomb. No information on the Foul Potion. Strength Potion, Blessing of the Forge, Flex Potion, Power Potion, Snake Oil, Regen Potion, Swift Potion, Attack Potion, Liquid Bronze and Ghost in a Jar can be spotted on the Steam page. There are some potions you can spot in the PC Gamer documentary video. This Iris spreads for skill and attack potion. This potion might be fairy in a battle. Cure All seems like a stronger version of Ancient Potion. I mean, it literally is called Cure All. Defect and Watcher. Now let's talk about the 2 characters we have not seen returning. Defect does actually make an appearance in the trailer. He seems broken or depowered, possibly even corrupted by the Spire or some other being. There's been no answer whether Defect will return, but I'm sure he will make an appearance in some way, be it a boss fight, an event, or a playable character. We do see the claw in the cinematic trailer for the game, but I would not consider it a proof of Defect being playable. It's likely Claw will be a colorless card now. Okay, here's my definitely uncalled for theory. Defect will be the boss of Slay the Spire 2. If Niao can bring back Ironclad and Silent after millennia, she would surely be able to bring back Defect as well. Unless Defect would now possess more power than Niao herself? What if Defect killing the heart is the canonical ending? What if he later was affected by Spire's dark influence and eventually got his programming corrupted? Defect is a robot. He's not bound to his body. He could easily transfer himself to a different, more powerful construct. And let's be honest, Defect is a fan favorite. He has to make a comeback. I wish I could tell you anything about the Watcher, but unlike Defect, there is literally no information on her. The only card of hers to make an appearance is now Colorless. It does look pretty bleak, especially considering how much criticism her game design has received. There is still hope she might return though, don't rule this possibility out completely. If she's not gonna have even a brief appearance, I'm sure the developers would already address the questions about her, but for some reason they did not. Now finally here's some info from the Q&As in the newsletters. Clash will not return. New quality of life updates. I quote, "You can view the turn number, current floor info, access to card relic etc. information mid-run. things you can't do tend to wiggle and turn red more often, and so forth. A modded launcher might be released in the future. There will be Ascension available in early access, with some changes coming to how it works. There will be beta art available for cards. Infinite decks will be harder to make in the sequel, maybe not even possible. Saves coming, leaving the game and restarting the fight will still be available. The Ironclad keeps his mask on by biting. And that's all I've got for you today. There will be one final newsletter next month, February, but I don't really think it's gonna reveal something huge or mind-blowing. Such video format is very new to me, but I did my best to collect every single thing about the game, and I hope this was entertaining to watch. I'll be doing more SLAY THE SPIRE content in the future, as well as continue playing other roguelikes I enjoy, so you should definitely give me a sub. Okay, have a good night.